the early morning hours, those struggling with homelessness know our place on Pandora Avenue is where they can find a hot breakfast, warm showers, and fresh clothing. This downtown sanctuary is also where people find necessary services, such as medical aid, housing assistance, harm reduction supplies, fellowship, and comforting resources to meet everyone's spiritual needs. But what about those who, for a variety of reasons, fear, addiction triggers, anxiety, and stigma, hide away in isolation in local parks and doorways? This is where our Dandelion Street Outreach team takes aid and comfort out into the community.
I'm going to go do a check-in on them and see how they are this morning. Usually not out of bed quite this early. That's where the coffee is helpful.
Arriving at our first park, Steph and Diane pack up their supplies, including hot coffee, water, snack packs, bagged meals, dry socks, tarps, tents, blankets, and rain gear. Whatever they feel the campers will need.
We're just going to go in and do what we do.
At this camp, a young woman no older than 20, skinny and timid, asks about housing. Steph and Diane arrange a time to fill in paperwork to start the process. The cracks in our system become evident as the team moves through the park, encountering a woman exposed to the elements, asleep under a patio umbrella. Beneath a bush beside the washroom, a young man lays curled in a sleeping bag. The team offer him water and something to eat. It becomes clear quite quickly that he suffers from a neurodevelopmental disability and needs much better care. Inside the tent, a wheelchair-bound older man with an amputated leg accepts water and a snack. He tells the team he had housing in a shelter until a recent hospital stay, but when he got out, his housing had been given away. He asks about entering detox and getting into long-term supportive housing. In another tent, a man tells the team he has been out of prison for 2 weeks. He was given a bus ticket, but no supports, and he wants to know how to get into housing. What gives you hope on a daily basis doing this job?
Well, I think it's knowing that we are reaching people in the outer perimeters that genuinely are grateful and appreciate the help, and some of them want to move forward.
And sometimes it's just a simple question like, what do you need? And it's like, hey, I need a doctor, or I'm trying to get connected with this person. And, sometimes we don't have the answers, but we do have the opportunity to be able to, look into it and be able to connect them to somewhere that might be able to connect them a little bit more than what we can.
Where there's a heartbeat, there's hope.
What's the main reason people are camping?
Number one reason is lack of affordable housing or lack of housing. Tenting. Some of them are by choice, but I'd say the vast majority are because there's just no affordable housing out there for them.
Are you seeing a lot of addiction out there?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
a fair amount. I think that's one of the biggest majorities for these individuals that have lost their housing.
Addiction and mental health, absolutely. It's rampant out here.
At the next park, Diane and Steph go looking for some people they have been helping to get into housing. They have arranged for an Aboriginal housing support worker to meet the men the following week.
Yeah, we had one fella here. Actually, he made it into detox.
One of the men is a Red Seal chef who is excited about the possibility of work. The other arrived in Victoria to undergo treatment for brain cancer and has nowhere to live. The team offer the man a tent while he waits to hear from Aboriginal housing. The day ends after touching base with a 72-year-old man and his dog who share a small tent. The man suffers from chronic pain and has used street drugs to control it. He has a doctor's prescription now, but his pass is creating a barrier to get into housing. Returning to our place, Diane and Steph have mixed emotions. They made good connections and are feeling optimistic about the progress they've made toward housing some of the folk. But they also know the problem is larger and more complicated than they can possibly manage. But as Diane says, Where there is a heartbeat, there is hope.